So Jacob went down to Egypt, where he and our ancestors died. Their bodies were brought back to Shechem and placed in the tomb that Abraham had purchased for a certain sum of money from Hamor's children who lived in Shechem. When it was time for God to keep the promise he made to Abraham, the number of our people in Egypt had greatly expanded. But then another king rose to power over Egypt who didn't know anything about Joseph. He exploited our people and abused our ancestors. He even forced them to abandon their newly born babies so they would die. That's when Moses was born. He was highly favored by God, and for 3 months, his parents hid him in their home. After he was abandoned, Pharaoh's daughter adopted him and cared for him as though he were her own son. Moses learned everything Egyptian wisdom had to offer, and he was a man of powerful words and deeds. When Moses was 40 years old, he decided to visit his family, the Israelites. He saw one of them being wronged, so he came to his rescue and evened the score by killing the Egyptian. He expected his own kin to understand that God was using him to rescue them, but they didn't. The next day, he came upon some Israelites who were caught up in an argument. He tried to make peace between them by saying, "You're brothers, why are you harming each other?" The one who started the fight against his neighbor pushed Moses aside and said, "Who appointed you as our leader and judge? Are you planning to kill me like you killed that Egyptian yesterday?" When Moses heard this, he fled to Midian, where he lived as an immigrant and had 2 sons. 40 years later, an angel appeared to Moses in the flame of a burning bush in the mountains in the wilderness near Mount Sinai. Enthralled by the sight, Moses approached to get a closer look, and he heard the Lord's voice. "I am the God of your ancestors, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob." Trembling with fear, Moses didn't dare to investigate any further. The Lord continued, "I have clearly seen the oppression." Lord continued, "Remove the sandals from your feet, for the place where you're standing is holy ground. I have clearly seen the oppression my people have experienced in Egypt, and I have heard their groaning. I have come down to rescue them. Come, I am sending you to Egypt." This is the same Moses whom they rejected when they asked, "Who appointed you as our leader and judge?" This is the Moses whom God sent as leader and deliverer. God did this with the help of the angel who appeared before him in the bush.